Welcome to Wiley & Company. Today we have a really fun recipe based off of the traditional Christmas crack that has been kind of the rage for the last couple of years. And I came up on it with a variation of this recipe. If you're a fan of Creme De Menthe flavoring, this is a Christmas crack that you're going to want to try. It makes great Christmas gifts and it's pretty easy to put together, so let's get to it. Alright, the first step we're going to do is we're going to add graham crackers to the tray. And I'm using a tray with a lined parchment sheet of paper. You could also use aluminum foil and spray it lightly, but I found that the parchment paper works really great for Christmas crack because it does get a little sticky. So I'm going to lay these down with the top side down, since all the layers are going to be going on top, kind of like a cookie. So you just want to fill your tray up the best you can. I have done this with a cinnamon honey graham, but if we need more, these are a little thinner than And sometimes when you have little spaces like this, you can break your graham crackers and fill it in. Because you want to get it as filled as you can with the, that one's a little uneven. Because the toffee type layer will soak down. And sometimes I just do overlay it. You don't have to, but it's all going to get, it's going to be in layers when you get all the chocolate on there and the toffee. I'm not doing a very good job cracking these, but anyway, it don't have to be perfect because when it comes out, it's going to be broken up anyway. Alright, so we're going to set that aside and go to the next step. Next step is you need a cup of brown sugar packed and 1 stick or a half a cup of butter. And this is going to make the toffee layer. So we're going to put that on the stove. We're going on like a medium, bring it up to a boil for about 3 to 5 minutes. I find about 3 minutes is the works best for us. Alright, so it's just about ready to go. I just wanted to show, see how it's getting thicker. This is what you want, it's kind of foamy. Alright, so we're getting ready to go back over and put this on top of the graham crackers. Alright, so we got our toffee base. I call it a toffee base because it's kind of what it's like. And we're just going to put that all over our graham crackers best you can. It's not the easiest, and you can use a spoon or a spatula. Just be careful and get it all over your graham crackers as best you can. Of course, I always have to come in with a spatula and get as much out of the pan as I can because I don't like to waste. You can see it's already kind of setting up a little bit. So this is probably the hardest part of the process. It's just trying to get this spread quickly and evenly. And for the recipe, which we will link below, This is about the right size pan for it. If you get a bigger pan, of course, you probably want to double it or do it 1.5. So it's spreading pretty good. But you can see it is thick. But what we're going to do next is we're going to put it in the oven at 400 and let it just bake for about till it's bubbling again. Usually that's about 3 or 4 minutes depending on your oven temperature. But from what I'm doing this many times, I know that 4 minutes works for us. And just try to get it as evenly as you can. It will spread a little more in the oven. Alright, we're getting ready to go in the oven. Here, just try to get the edges better. So this is what you've got, and now we're going to put it in the oven. 400, about 3 to 4 minutes. Alright, I just wanted to show you real quick. As you can see, it's starting to bubble. We got about 30 seconds left. It might take a minute or two when you first put it in, but then it starts bubbling. That's what you want. Okay, as you can see, I have a setup here so when I pull it out of the oven, because it is going to be very hot. And there's my timer. And here we go. As you can see, perfectly, it's starting to bubble up. So this is the next step. You want to quickly put 2 cups of chocolate chips. Some people like to use a little more expensive, like Ghirardelli chips. I'm just using some regular semi chips today. I think with the layers they work just fine. So we want to get those on there because we're going to let them sit for a few minutes and get soft, and then we're going to spread them. Alright, so what I like to do, you could cover it in foil, or some people stick it back in the oven for a few minutes. I just put a lid over it for 2 to 3 minutes, and that usually is plenty of time for it to melt the chocolate. Alright, that was a couple minutes. As you can see, maybe just another minute or so. Chocolate usually melts pretty fast, especially the semi chips. Okay, so it's been about 2 to 3 minutes, and we're going to take the lid off here and we're going to check it. Oh yeah, perfect. So you just want to spread that chocolate out. Let me set my tray down here. And just get all over all of the graham cracker. So as you can see, as you go on with the layers, you can easily cover up even these ones on the side. Now, the reason some people use a little finer chocolate or like a melting chocolate is you can see you get a little bit with the semi chips. You do get a little bit more gritty looking chocolate, but it doesn't really taste gritty. And like I said, we're putting a second layer on top of this, so I think it's perfect. I've done this many times with just the chocolate chips, the regular semi-chocolate chips, inexpensive semi-chocolate chips. Well, they're not all inexpensive, but anyway. Okay, so what we need this layer to go ahead and set, and what we're going to do is put it in the, you can either put it in the freezer for about 5 to 8 minutes because you want it to set up as much as you can, but maybe not all the way. And the reason is we're going to put another layer on, and you don't want it to mix in with the chocolate. If you did it now, it would just mix it, make it marble. You can do that. I mean, it still tastes great, but I usually put this in about 5 to 8 minutes in the freezer. Or if I have time, you can put it in the refrigerator, but it takes well over an hour for it to really get to the set state. So we're going to do the freezer method. It's a little quicker. So this is a Creme De Menthe bark, as I mentioned in the beginning, and we're going to use the Andes Creme De Menthe pens, and we're going to use the ones that are the candy shape. You can buy the Creme De Menthe Andes baking chips. I'll put a link to Amazon is where you can find it. I think Walmart has them as well. However, I feel like the candy squares are stronger. So I've done it both ways, but I prefer this method with these. So basically, we're going to unpackage all these, and we're going to get about 1.5 cups. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'm going to chop them up. Six, 9, 12, 15, 16. So let's just start with that and see if we get 1.5 cups. And basically, I just chop them up into little pieces. You could try this in a food processor. I don't know how small they would chop, and you really just kind of want a rough chop because they're going on top, like I said, like chips. I know the baking chips are more squared, but these work great, and I can smell them already. I love Creme De Menthe. Peppermint patty is another, which is a little different. Anything peppermint or like Creme De Menthe. So if you're a big fan of Creme De Menthe and Andes, you're gonna love this Christmas crack. It's only about 1 cup, so we'll have to do a little bit more. And the reason I'm using the knife to get them in the container is because obviously the chocolate's going to melt. And alright, that's about 1 cup. I think on the recipe it says 1.5 cups, but I think that's going to be plenty because I actually am using a smaller tray than I originally. So we can always cut some and add if we feel like it. Okay, so we're going to be ready to do the next step, which is make the second layer. Okay, so now we're going to start on our second layer. We've got the chocolate in the freezer, and this shouldn't take too long because we're going to actually melt these in the microwave. So you need melting white chocolate wafers, and we need a little bit of shortening. I don't buy a big can because I don't use it very often. I mainly use lard and tallow, but for this, because it's a candy flavoring, we're just going to use a little bit of vegetable oil. So here we go. We use about 2 cups of wafers and a little teaspoon or a little bit more of the shortening. And the reason we're doing that is so that the chocolate won't set up too fast, because we're going to add a couple things to it. So let's get started on melting. Alright, we've got our white chocolate melted. As you can see, nice consistency. And to that, we're going to add Creme De Menthe. If you can see that. I know you can get bigger bottles of this, but I ordered these in the smaller bottles. And I'm going to start with 1/4 of a teaspoon of that. And then I like to colorize the chocolate. This is an optional. If you're not comfortable with food coloring, then you can definitely leave it out. 2, 3, 4, 5. That should do it. And you want to mix that all up. You can get white chocolate wafers that are already green. I think I'm just going to add a smidgen more of, that was 1/4 a teaspoon, so I'm going to add about 1/2 because I really like it strong, mint. And just a couple more drops because I like a darker green. But like I said, you can get white chocolate wafers that are already green. I'm sure a lot of the stores sell it. So we're going to get the chocolate out of the freezer and add this layer. Add the green layer. And as you can see, it's pretty set. It's just a smidgen soft. You don't want to get it all the way hard. And then we're just going to add this on as a second layer. And you can see it's going to probably pick up some of the chocolate, but that's okay. Still looks pretty. Still, once you put the chips on top, you won't see it as much. The first time I made it, I didn't let it set up too good, and it got kind of marble. I mean, it still tasted just as good, but this will really helps the mint layer. Whoops, I guess I didn't mix it too well there at the bottom. You want to make sure you mix it well. But even if it's a little bit of the white chocolate, it's not gonna. But yeah, this setup is perfect. It's not picking up a lot of the chocolate, so you want to get that spread out as best as you can, because you want that mint flavor to be on every piece. And it sets pretty quickly because the chocolate is cold from being in the freezer. Well, that's what I was talking about. If it's not all the way set, sometimes it picks up a little bit of the chocolate underneath, but it should be fine. And just get as close to the edge as you can, because you want some of that mint flavor on every layer. As you can see, you can pretty much cover up any chocolate. Alright. Ah, I think there was chocolate on the spatula. And the last step is we add our Creme De Menthe chips. And I did end up chopping a few more of the things because we just like Creme De Menthe so much. It's your preference how much you put in there on top. And you might, and all, you know, even the little scrappy parts are so good. Have that mint flavor. And you can push them down a little bit because, you know, you want them to stick as best as possible. And I can already see that second layer is setting nicely. Ah. That one might not make it back down because it could be a taste test here. All right, and there we have it. That is our Creme De Menthe bark. We're going to pop this in the freezer for about 15 minutes, and when we come back, we are going to break it up. All right, everyone, here we have our beautiful Creme De Menthe Christmas crack, and it's just come out of the freezer, and I've started breaking it up, and it's doing pretty good here. I will say this is a little bit on a fault of mine is on my end, is that I forgot that I needed to push the candy chips in a little bit more because I kind of got in a hurry with making the video. But basically, when you do it, this is what it's going to look like. I'll probably have a lot of little scraps, but that's okay because it's really good on ice cream. And you just break them in whatever size you prefer to have them. Big, little, you can give them like that, which is just fine. And I have this cute little serving tray. Have this cute little serving dish. So here we have it. All right, here we have our final Creme De Menthe Christmas crack. It's a wonderful treat with 2 layers of chocolate. Well, actually 3 with the Creme De Menthe chips on top, and a graham cracker crust. And as you can see, you can make a whole bunch in one pan, and they make great Christmas gifts to give to family, friends, co-workers. So I hope you enjoyed our little twist on the recipe of Christmas crack, and you'll give it a try. Thanks for stopping by Wiley & Company. God bless and have a wonderful day.